Mike Gore finished school and joined the army for his military service. He came back 3 years later and started a master's degree at the School of Arts as an artist and sculptor. Then the war broke out. There was a blast and Gore was in the car. On November the 7th, my husband received a call and was told that his body had been found. On November the 8th, we buried him.
Gayane and her husband Carol lost their child Gore in 2020. 4,000 soldiers were killed during the war against Azerbaijan that lasted 44 days. Many were only teenagers.
It's so hard without him. Every second I feel like he's here.
It's true that we lost our protector, our rock.
The couple live in a small village about an hour's drive from the capital, Yerevan. They're both in their mid-40s and already have 2 daughters. But despite their age, they've taken a life-changing decision.
Maybe now is the time to have a new child and to give him my son's name, Gore. It's like a way of bringing him back to life.
This new baby will change things. We'll be able to continue the family line.
The 2020 war decimated an entire generation. Now, the Armenian government is coming up with measures to boost a dwindling population. Since 2021, mothers of soldiers killed on the battlefield have been allowed to use in vitro fertilization up to the age of 53. Raising the legal age limit has already led to the birth of around 100 babies. In 5 years, the government has increased spending on fertility measures 12-fold, and more clinics have been set up.
If families don't start having at least 3 or 4 children, our country will cease to exist. So maybe the term is a bit too strong, but that would automatically lead to our genocide. The country would disappear.
Tachevik Ambadzumyan is the assistant director of this private clinic in Yerevan, one of 5 clinics that have implemented the government's measures. The IVF treatment is also available for single women. This morning, after a long wait, it's finally Gayane's turn to have her appointment. Her high blood pressure means she's unable to fall pregnant herself, so she's seeking out a surrogate mother. The government pays surrogates up to $13,000 US, enough to entice Noem, who's willing to carry the baby.
How old are you?
I'm 36.
How many children do you have?
1.
How old is your child?
13 years old.
And do you have any health problems?
No.
Okay, I'm going to examine you and carry out an ultrasound. Come with me. So your left ovary has been removed?
Yes.
Now we're checking the surrogate's uterus to make sure that everything is normal. We also check her ovaries and also the endometrial lining, which should be thick and should be good quality in order to make pregnancy.
The demand for surrogate mothers far outstrips the number of women willing to become surrogates themselves. It took Gayane and Carol 1 year to find Noem with the help of a friend from a neighbouring village. Noem, a divorced single mother, lives with her disabled parents. For now, she's keeping her plans secret.
Honestly, it was very hard for me to come to a decision. If I wasn't the sole breadwinner of the household, for my parents and for my son, I wouldn't do this.
She's scared that people will spread rumours accusing her of abandoning a child. As for Gayane, she's reassured by the examination and is already imagining her newborn. Like most families, she wants a baby boy.
And I know that they wanted a boy. Like, were they able to choose the...
Let's not ask this question to cameras.
Almost every family that we met has had a boy. Unfortunately for Gayane and Caro, only a few days after filming, Noem changed her mind. We're 1 hour's drive from Yerevan, in the province of Armavir, near the Turkish border. For those couples that manage to have a child, sometimes it isn't enough to erase the pain of loss.
Oh, my baby's already getting cold. My little boy. He's cold, my darling little baby. I'm just not used to this anymore. I've forgotten everything.
Despite 7 failed attempts at IVF and a miscarriage, Maria was finally able to give birth to a little boy, Aren, 3 months ago. With her husband, 59-year-old Lernik, she's had to learn everything again.
As soon as I hold him, he stops crying.
Before, I used cloth nappies. Now I use industrial ones. For my other children, I breastfed, but for him, I use a baby bottle. It's hard for me. I'm 45 years old now. I always want to sleep. I get tired very quickly. Memories of Arman keep coming back to me.
Arman, their first child, has been missing since his convoy was bombed in October 2020.
Kiss Arman.
Not long after, Arman's parents were contacted by Azerbaijanis who claimed to be holding their son. They asked for a ransom but then vanished. Maria and Lernik are convinced that Arman is alive, making it impossible for them to mourn.
I'm really ashamed.
Maria has only just started going outside with Aren.
I feel like everyone is staring at me. My neighbors could say that I've lost a son, but I've still gone ahead and given birth to another child anyway. I light this candle to guide my son home.
What could help you overcome your grief?
Nothing works. I never look after Aren the way I took care of Arman. All my attention is always focused on Arman. My tears and grief are affecting this baby, and it's not his fault. He's innocent.
For now, Maria hasn't been receiving any psychological help, and the government hasn't put any support in place. That's unacceptable, according to independent psychologists like Siranush Davtyan. A specialist in domestic violence, she's worried about what could happen to these children and their mothers.
This program basically turns women into incubators, only good for constantly reproducing and giving birth to soldiers or children for the nation. The state has the right and even the duty to fight against infertility, but not to impose a variant of it based on old militaristic values.
She highlights criteria used at the outset of the program, which targeted certain categories of the population, such as the families of soldiers.
Because the budget was small at the beginning, we had to prioritize these types of families. And for us, families living close to the border were also a priority because they protect our territory. Last year, there were 540 births. That's a sizable figure for a country like ours.
Newborns which, for the families of deceased soldiers, are as much a consolation as a necessity for the future of Armenia. Luckily for Maria, she can count on her daughter, who lives just a few houses down the street.
I'm very happy that they had this baby. I always told my mother to have another child, so I wouldn't be left alone.
Maria, how will you and your husband handle it when you get older?
My daughter gives me hope.
I can look after him. I'm more like a mother than a sister.
For now, this newborn baby is being brought up, surrounded by the memories of his lost brother and others who died on the battlefield.
We drink this to honor my Arman. I want to make this toast standing up. Now I want to drink to all of our boys who have given their lives for the country. Their victorious souls belong to the heavens.
Despite the pain and the challenges that come with looking after a newborn, Lernik doesn't have any regrets.
This baby has given our lives new meaning. We must fill the void left by our lost children. More children mean more soldiers and more people to protect the country.
Their child's fate already seems determined.
If there's a war, I'll send him, yes. Aren will destroy the enemy if he must, to avenge his brother.
I didn't need a soldier. I didn't need this piece of land. I just needed my baby, my son.
Thanks to the government's IVF measures, almost 1,300 children have been born since 2019. But that won't be enough to reverse Armenia's demographic decline.